Hey students, here's the tutorial to finish chapter 10. Sorry I haven't gotten it online as quickly as I promised, but we're going to pick up where we finished in class the other day on page 250. We're about to motion track the clouds. I'll go ahead and play it really quickly. I redid the tracking or the mask, so you can still see there's a little bit of problems up here in the upper left hand corner, but it's much better than it was the first time I did in class. So as you're working on that step, one thing I learned is if you stay actually inside the line of the house and not on the edge of it, you'll get a much better outline to do the keying. So we're going to pick up on page 250. Make sure your playhead's at the beginning of your timeline, and we're going to track the motion of our camera shot on our close shot layer, because the camera actually moves, as you can see, across the shot. And so instead of just animating the clouds, we want them to match that camera movement perfectly. And so we're going to track the motion and target it to the storm clouds layer. So select the close shot layer and right click and select track motion. All right, your tracker will pop up if it hasn't already, and you're going to want to go ahead and click rotation and scale in addition to position. So we're going to track all three of those, and that gives you now 2 target points. So we need to tell After Effects where we want to target them. So it's best if you pick areas of high contrast. It makes it easier to distinguish the difference in the pixels as they move. So click in any empty space inside this inner square. Don't click on the plus sign, and try not to click on the border. You can zoom in if you need to. If you click on one of the others, it's going to make it bigger and it's going to do other things that you don't want it to do. So just click on the inside area there. All right, and when you do, it zooms in so you can really tell exactly what you're doing. So put it on the corner of that house, and then this one we're going to grab and put on the apex of this house. Okay. Now we're going to edit target, and we're going to select our clouds layer. All right, so we're tracking the motion of close shot layer, but we're going to target it to our clouds layer so that it will mimic the motion of the layer that we're tracking. So hit OK, and then we're going to track forward. So it's going to analyze the movement. All right, so it's pretty quick since it's a pretty short shot. You're going to hit apply. And we do want to go ahead and apply the X and Y dimensions. You have options for X only and Y only, but we're going to apply both. So hit OK. And now you'll see this happen, but don't panic when you do that. It's just on the last frame of that dissolve. So that all white that you're seeing is the dissolve. It's not that you did anything crazy wrong. So you can just scrub through that and see what happened. It's kind of hard to tell because my tracking's a little off. As you adjust the anchor point of your storm cloud layer, so just select your storm clouds, hit A to view the anchor point, and change those anchor point dimensions. All right, so it's not a very noticeable change. I probably have my clouds zoomed in or scaled up quite a bit more than they do in the book. So as you go along, you can change it how you want to. So that's how you do a motion track, and I think we're going to do it one more time on the second one. So we're going to work on the second clip now. So go to 223. We're going to hide the other shots so that we can solely work on, and we're going to hide the storm clouds so we can see this clip. And then select your wide shot layer that we've worked on previously. And now we're going to do another mask using the pen tool. This time we're going to key out the sky. We're going to use another effect. And so as you're doing this, make sure you don't get any of his blue jeans in it, because we don't want this color of blue to get keyed out when we key out the sky. We want it to make sure that they're there the whole time. So same thing, we're going to follow the roof line. So kind of click, and it's okay. You go across his body, just don't get those jeans in there. Kind of go around the car. zoom up just a tad. We're going to finish off our shot, our mask. All right, so it should look something like that when you complete it. And again, just don't get any of those blue jeans in there. I'm going to go ahead and lower this one, make sure that sky is out. And so this is another one where just make sure that you stay within the house line and don't get any of that blue sky in there. So I'm going to adjust mine really quickly before I track it. And hopefully we'll get a pretty good one. Alrighty, so we've done that. So just like the last time we did it, duplicate this layer. So Command D on your Mac to duplicate it. Names it Wide Shot 2. So go back and select the original one. Drop down those mask options for mask 1. Under mask expansion, change the pixel value to 1. Now select Wide Shot Layer 2. Open up your mask. And select Inverted. All right, we can close those options really quickly. So now we've got a separate portion selected on each clip, okay? Now select Mask 1 in Wide Shot 2. Right click and choose Track Mask. So again, come over here to your tracker. And because our playhead is at the beginning of our clip, we're going to analyze forward in time. So click the forward button. Now we're going to go back in time, back to where we started at 223. And under the Wide Shot layer, Control click this mask and Track Mask. And again, track forward. Let me undo that step actually. They want you to only have position selected on that one. Let me make sure we did. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, so let me do that over because I think I still had all 3 selected from the last one. All right, so Wide Shot 2, select Mask, Track Mask, only the position, and track forward. Okay. Now back to Wide Shot, Mask 1, track, position only, track forward. Oops, sorry. Go back to 223. Track forward. All right. So let's hide those layers. So again, let's go back to the beginning of that clip. Select Wide Shot 2. We're going to come up to our effects, keying. This time we're going to use a different one than key light. We're going to select the color range. We We can close our other effects because remember we added levels and hue and saturation. So we're going to change it to color range. So for the color range, it's kind of helpful if you have an uneven lighting. So for instance, the sky, you can tell it's a light blue down here, darker blue up here, kind of a mid blue in the middle. So it lets you select and key out a range of colors. This is also helpful if you don't have a very well lit green screen and the green isn't all the exact same color and evenly lit. You can do multiple ranges of green and kind of make sure you get it all out. So that's kind of the beauty of keying with color range, is when you're working with not an even lit color. So, the sky is not all going to have the exact same amount of light on it. There's a variation of color. So that's why this one is helpful. So select your top eyedropper, and click the mid-tone blue color. So some here are just right in the middle of the sky. All right. Click the add to the color. And now we're going to click some of these other colors. So get this dark blue up here in the corner. Okay, click it again and get this really light blue down here. And kind of just keep doing that step until you get, now this is a really white blue. So keep doing that until you get everything keyed out. But be careful on that one, because see how we took out a lot of his shirt when we did that one? Because his shirt has quite a lot of white in it, so be careful on some of them when you do it. See, that one took out quite a bit too. So we might call it good with this one. All right, so we're going to add clouds to this scene again. So go to your project panel. Drag your storm clouds again beneath the wide shot. We're going to scale it up again. Somewhere around 150. Let's go to the position and change the values. Okay. Now we're going to do the exact same thing to these clouds as we did to the last one. Auto levels. Again, if you come over to your effects and presets and just type in the name of the effect you're looking for, auto levels pops up right there. Drag it onto that one. Immediately does a pretty good job. If we want to shorten this clouds layer, remember it's Option and left bracket to shorten the endpoint, and let me drag it over just a frame to line up with that. Well, actually, no, let's not do that. That'll work. Okay. All right, so we've done kind of the same thing to clip 2 as we did clip 1. We just did a different method of keying it out. And then we're going to motion track this shot as well. So make sure you're back at 223 again. It's the magic number. Select the wide shot layer. Right click, track motion. All right, so we've got 2 different houses this time. It looks like we're going to be tracking from this corner over here to somewhere on this corner. Again, click rotation and scale so we get those 2 tracker points. So second house over here. First house looks like it was over here. And this is in your book on page 255, so you can refer back to that as well if you are like, what step is she at? I can't tell. Okay, so same thing, edit target. We want to track the storm clouds, but make sure it's the second storm clouds, layer 6, and not layer 3 that we've done before. Click OK. Click Analyze Forward. Let it do its thing. Okay, once it's done, click Apply, Yes to X and Y. All right, and again, you get your gajillion keyframes for that. Go ahead and close that. All right, I'm just going to scrub through. There's not a whole lot of movement on that one. but it's good practice for learning how to do it. All right, so select the, deselect by clicking in an empty area, select the clouds again, and again it has you change the anchor point, so hit A to open up those anchor point options. They changed it to around, 941 and 662. Let's go through it again. So yeah, not a whole lot of change in my opinion. All right, so that's the end of the motion tracking. There's just a little more color grading and a couple of other things, and then you'll be done with this chapter. So go ahead and save your work right there. All right, so we've done color grading as far as fixing improper color in the shots, but now we're going to do some color grading where everything looks fine, but we change the color to give it a specific look that we like. So to do that, we're going to, let's make these other layers visible. We're going to add an adjustment layer. So come up to layer at the very top, new, select adjustment layer. We're going to name it Still Blue. Select, if it's not already selected, make sure it's still selected. Come up to Effect, Color Correction, CC Toner. All right, so this is kind of the fun part. So now that your effect controls are open, choose Pin Tone. And now you've got all these different options. You've got a brights color swatch, a midtones, a dark tones. So select the brights color swatch and go to the blues and choose a cold blue color. So come up here and choose something that you find cold blue. And they give you numbers. So they hit around 120, 160, and 190. I consider that a cold blue. I'm going to make mine a little brighter than that. So once you get that, hit OK. Select the midtones color swatch and choose a darker steely blue. Maybe something like that. And then hit the dark tones. And a much darker blue is what you are instructed to pick. So maybe something down here. Hit OK. All right. Blend with original. So how much do you want it to blend with the original colors of the shot? So at 0%, it's all blue. It's not blending with the original at all. At 100%, we're not really even hardly seeing the effect because we're blending it so much with the original. So come somewhere in the 70 to 80 range. And so if you turn that effect on and off, you can kind of, again, see what happens. So it's just kind of subtle, but now we kind of give it a cold, steely blue appearance. But you might be thinking, yeah, but we color corrected the blue out of it in the beginning. You are correct. We did. But this is still different. So, and it's also a cool effect to know how to do in the future. All right, so that's that effect. Now we're going to add a blur to the entire project. So we're going to pre-compose all the layers and then create a blurred layer. So select all of the layers in the timeline panel and go up to Layer and choose Pre-Compose, which is at the very bottom. And we're going to name this Final Effect. Yes to move all attributes. Yes, go ahead and open the new composition. So in your SuperKid sequence, select that final effect layer, duplicate it with the second one selected, choose Effect, Blur, Fast Blur. Change the blurriness to 40%, or 40, not percentage. Change it to 40. And you're like, whoa, that's a lot. So we're going to reduce the opacity of that layer. So come down here, hit T for opacity. Change this to 30%. And now you can tell we kind of have this blurry, like vintage film look to it. You know, kind of like when you watch, it reminds me of, oh, what movie? Oh my goodness, I just blanked on the name of the movie. You know the movie, You're Killing Me, Smalls? It kind of, when they have that like flashback sequence, it always has a slight blur to it. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Anyways, now we're going to do, for the last step, adding a vignette. So choose a new, solid, name it vignette. Make comp size. Change the color to black, which it already is. Hit OK. Select the ellipse tool, which is hidden under your other shape tools. Oh, let's double click it. Nice. I actually did not know that trick. That's cool. So normally, you know, you could draw an ellipse and spend a lot of time trying to get it the right size, or you double click it and it automatically creates one the exact comp size for you. See, look, I'm the teacher and I learned something very cool and new today. That's awesome. All right, so you've got your vignette. Come down here, and so that created a mask, right? We've got a mask added to it now. Open up those mask options. Change the mode to subtract. And then you're going to feather the heck out of it. Just keep on feathering. All right, then we're going to hit opacity. Change it to 50%. And now we have a vignette. All right, so I'm going to go to fit. And so because that is a adjustment layer and that we pre-comped all of it, that means that it not only applies to the second shot, but all of those changes applied to the first shot as well. So we have the blur and the color, the steely blue color. That adjustment layer applies to all of the shots. And then because we pre-comped them, the vignette also applies to the entire composition. Okay, so I'm going to hit save. I hope that helps y'all complete your homework since we didn't get to go over all of those steps in class. Again, if you are like me and your first mask tracking up here gets off a little bit, don't panic. Mine doesn't look that great either. Just get it the best you can. Maybe try it a couple of times. The second or maybe even the third time I did it, it looked a lot better, but I had a problem over here. And so I did have to go over several frames and adjust the individual pinpoints of these two and move those, but everything else turned out pretty well. So there you go. There's a lot in that chapter with motion tracking and color grading and all that jazz. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm here all day tomorrow, as usual, for Open Lab. So feel free to give me a call or email me if you have any questions. So that's a wrap. Thanks, y'all.